Eighth grade science mastery learning quiz. Part 1, multiple choice. Directions. Read each question carefully and select the best answer. Mark the correct answer on the test document and bubble the answer on the answer sheet. You may use this test booklet to work out the questions, but remember to mark all of your answers on the answer sheet. 1. Laura sees a red flower. Which statement best describes why the flower is red? A. The light that strikes the flower is mostly red. B. The light that is absorbed by the flower is mostly red. C. The light that is reflected from the flower is mostly red. D. The light that passes through the flower is mostly red. 2. A laser beam is pointed at the surface of a smooth, calm pond as represented in the diagram below. Which objects could be hit by the laser's light? A. The crab only. B. The bird only. C. The bird and the fish. D. The crab and the bird. 3. The diagram below shows a ray of light passing from air into glass as shown below. Which statement best describes what is happening with the speed and the direction of the light ray? A. Only the speed changes. B. Only the direction changes. C. Both the speed and the direction change. D. Neither the speed nor the direction change. 4. Compared to wavelengths of visible light, the wavelengths of ultraviolet light are A. Shorter. B. Longer. C. The same. 5. Compared to the weight of a person at the North Pole, the weight of the same person at the equator would be A. Slightly less because the person is farther from the center of the Earth. B. Slightly less because the person is closer to the center of the Earth. C. Slightly more because the person is further from the center of the Earth. D. Slightly more because the person is closer to the center of the Earth. 6. Use the image below to answer the following question. The approximate time required for the moon to move from position 3 to position 7 is A. 1 hour, B. 2 weeks, C. 3 months, D. 4 days. 7. Place the following in order from the longest time to the shortest time to complete. 1. 1 revolution for Earth. 2. 1 full rotation of the Earth. 3. 1 full revolution of the moon. A. 3, 2, 1. B. 2, 3, 1. C. 1, 3, 2. D. 1, 2, 3. 8. The passage of the moon into the Earth's shadow causes A. Lunar eclipse. B. Solar eclipse. D. New moon. D. Full moon. Part 2, extended response. Directions. Write your answers to the following question in the space provided below. The question has more than one part. Show all of your work you do to find your answers. Even if you cannot answer all parts, answer as many as you can. You may still get points for answering part of a question. Be sure to write clearly. A warming life jacket. Sometimes the biggest threat from a boat sinking isn't the accident itself. It's not even the sharks that might be swimming nearby. It's the life-threatening loss of body heat from remaining too long in cold water. Now, a South African teen has invented a heat-producing liner for life jackets. It could help delay injuries or death until a rescue is possible. Normal body temperature for people is around 37 degrees Celsius, 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. But when the core body temperature falls below 35 degrees Celsius or 95 degrees Fahrenheit, people suffer from something called hypothermia. When this occurs, the body doesn't function quite the way it should, says Danielle Malibone. She is a 17-year-old junior at St. Teresa's High School in Johannesburg, South Africa. With mild hypothermia, blood vessels just beneath the skin shrink. This restricts blood flow to help cut the loss of heat from blood. As blood cools, it speeds the cooling of internal tissues. Hypothermia also triggers shivering. Those muscle contractions help generate heat to somewhat boost the body's internal temperature, she notes. During severe hypothermia, things get much worse. People become confused and uncoordinated. They also have difficulty speaking. Eventually, a major organ system, such as the heart, will fail. This can lead to death. The body's temperature can drop to dangerous levels even in relatively warm water, explains Malabone. That's why she designed a heat-producing liner for life jackets. Pockets in the liner hold a powdered chemical called calcium oxide, which gives off heat when it gets wet. The chemical reaction between calcium oxide and water warms the water between the life jacket and somebody's body. This might stave off severe hypothermia long enough to allow for a rescue. Malabone tested her own invention by jumping into 50 degrees Celsius water. Each test lasted an hour. The first version of her life jacket liner included only 50 grams, about 1.8 ounces of the calcium oxide, she notes. But that amount didn't provide enough heat, and my body temperature dropped to 35 degrees Celsius after just an hour, she says. So the next version included 1 kilogram, or 2.2 pounds, of the heat-producing chemical. In her test using that liner, the body temperature stayed above 36.1 degrees Celsius. The chemical reaction between calcium oxide and water generates heat slowly. The reaction began producing heat after 5 minutes. Malabone found the liner produced the most heat about 25 minutes after the life jacket was first immersed. Overall, Malabone's test suggests there's no risks the jacket liner will explode or heat up so much that it risks causing burns. The reaction doesn't produce acidic byproducts, and because calcium oxide doesn't react with humidity, water vapor in the air, the liners can be stored for long periods and still work when needed. 1. The success of life jacket depends on the chemical reaction between calcium oxide and water. Is this reaction considered endothermic or exothermic? Please provide evidence to support your answer below. 2. Malabone wanted to see if the temperature of the water in the reaction occurred would influence the rate of the reaction. A. Write a hypothesis she could use to test this experiment. B. Write a testable question to test the hypothesis. And C. Create a data table for her experiment.